Good morning. Grab a seat. If you're involved in the hackathon, we'd kindly ask you to move a little bit on this side because that's where the reserved space for the hackathon is. So, ladies and gentlemen, tech enthusiasts, visionaries, and digital pioneers, welcome to Gaia-X, where the future isn't just on display behind me, it's been forged right before your eyes. So today we're diving into a topic that resonates with the very core of our digital lives. It's about digital sovereignty. Now, I know what you're thinking, sovereignty, isn't that something for kings and queens from the history books? But hold on to your laptops, because digital sovereignty is not just a buzzword, it's our ticket into a future where we call the shots. So imagine a world where technological fate isn't just dictated by a handful of giant corporates, legal authorities, or maybe even foreign entities. Picture a digital landscape where our data, our networks, and all our innovations are under our control. That's what digital sovereignty is all about. It's the control of our presence and future as manifested and guided by the use of technology and computer networks, and also by legal compliance. And trust me, it's much more about money, of which we will hear a little bit more later on. It's about identity, security, and the freedom to innovate without any constraints. Money is a prerequisite, but just like hiring a fitness coach won't grow you any muscle, you won't achieve digital sovereignty without actually doing it. So, why is this important? Let's start with security. When we rely on external powers to manage our data and networks, we open ourselves up to risks. Cyber attacks, data breaches, geopolitical conflicts, and foreign policies. Having digital sovereignty means we protect our infrastructure, ensuring that our data is safe and our communication are secure. On the legal side, just opposite of the road, you have the European Court of Justice. So they take care of some things from a compliance point of view, but from a technical point of view, this is up to us. So, next, let's talk about innovation. Sovereignty means fostering local talent and homegrown technologies. It's about creating an environment where startups can thrive without having to bow down to external monopolies. It's about nurturing a tech ecosystem that's vibrant, competitive, and independent. When we have control, we can push the boundaries of what's possible, driven by our own visions and creativity. And finally, let's not forget about freedom. Digital sovereignty is about having the freedom to choose how our digital lives unfold. It's ensuring that our values and priorities are reflected in the technology we use. It's about having a say in the ethical standards, privacy protections, and regulatory frameworks that shape our digital world. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking, that sounds great, but now how do we actually just do that? Well, that's why we're here at Gaia-X. This conference isn't just about discussing ideas and showing glossy slides, even if there are some behind me. It's about turning them into action. It's about building partnerships, discovering cutting-edge solutions, and charting a course towards a digital sovereign future. So, as you explore the exhibits, attend the sessions, participate in the hackathon, and network with fellow tech trailblazers, remember this. Digital sovereignty is not just an ideal, it's a necessity. It's about taking control of our digital destinies, ensuring that the future we build is one that reflects our values, our aspirations, and our unique potential. So that having said, welcome again to Gaia-X in this wonderful historical place. So if you haven't had the chance to check out what we are actually sitting in, this is the first European Parliament. To explain a bit more on the why and the how, I'd kindly ask Ulrich Ahle, the CEO of the Gaia-X IESBL, to join on stage. So, Ulrich, the floor is yours. Let's get started.
Yeah, thank you, Ralf, and very good morning to all of you. There's a lot going on here in Luxembourg, and despite that, we are invited here, so thank you to our hosts for having us here. As I said, a lot is going on, so we couldn't get a bit smaller room. This one is still a bit too large for us. It'll take us another 2 years to fill it for the TechX, but we will make it. So make yourself comfortable here. And I've been here, when was the DSPC event? In December? November? November. So half a year ago, I've been here the first time, and I've been here for 3 days, and it was really impressive, especially on the first day, to see the launch of the Luxembourg National Data Service. It's service, yeah? S stands for service. To see how committed Luxembourg is in creating interoperable data spaces in a collaboration of several ministries here in Luxembourg, and it is really a vision and the ability to implement this vision using technologies to create interoperable data spaces. And we are here in a country which is really leading the edge when it comes to bringing digital platforms to the next phase, to data spaces, allowing us for a secure and sovereign management of data. Nearly 4 years after the creation of the AISBL, we are here together, and data spaces are becoming reality, slowly. After the specifications have been done, after first software has been implemented, first building blocks are available, and in parallel, first data spaces have been created. So we show as a community it is possible. We have some lighthouse data spaces in the Gaia-X environment, Act Data Hub in France. I've been yesterday at the Vivatech in Paris, a very impressive event with 10,000 of visitors, where also the French Gaia-X Hub had a booth, and it's impressive to see what's possible already. So the Act Data Hub is an endorsed lighthouse data space. You might know our endorsement program for endorsed projects, endorsed lighthouse projects, and lighthouse data spaces. So these are data spaces which are really up and running. The second one is Catena-X in the automotive industry, and we have in total 17 endorsed lighthouse projects. And in addition, there are roughly 180 projects and initiatives in Europe and outside of Europe going on to create data spaces. The trust framework, which we defined, has been the basis to enable all of this, to enable trustful digital ecosystems based on a federated cloud infrastructure. Yeah, we should never forget that, Pierre, I'm quoting you, data does not flow on rainbows. So we need always the underlying IT infrastructure. We need the operators of the clearinghouses, and I'm happy, and maybe you've seen it already, that we've been able to sign the contract, the clearinghouse agreement with the next operator of clearinghouses. It's OVH Cloud, Europe's largest cloud service provider. I had the pleasure to sign the agreement on Tuesday in Paris together with Michel Perlin, the CEO of OVH Cloud. So we have now 5 providers of Gaia-X digital clearinghouses, and there are more to come. We have published the new version of the policy rules document, the version 2404, published internally. So it's available for internal use to start the implementation. We still have to finalize some little inconsistencies in the document, so we still have to work on it during this and next month. And the version which will be publicly published is then, or shall be, the version 2606. And besides the European member states and the European Commission, who is investing heavily into the creation of data spaces. Also, activities in non-European regions are going on to do so, and I'm happy to welcome here also the delegation from Japan. So welcome, I've seen several of you, and it is especially with Japan. We recently had also in Paris a meeting with the Japanese delegation, with the Robot Revolution Initiative, with the Data Society Alliance, and we are quite close in our legislations, in our thinking, how to handle data, and there are several other activities planned for the rest of the year. I'm planning to visit Japan in October, together with a delegation here from Europe to further intensify our collaboration. And talking about funding, we made a bit of calculation and came to a figure of 3 billion euro, which were already provided as funding for the creation of interoperable data spaces. Roughly 2 million for data spaces, and then another billion or 1.2 billion in this IPSE cloud, the important project of common European interest, how an IPSE is called, and it's a IPSE SIS cloud infrastructure services, where the lower part of the X will be addressed. And as I said before, we are starting, or we are in the 4th year now, and the expectation from the market is growing. Growing to see more real-life data spaces addressing the demands and the challenges on the end-user side, be it in healthcare, be it in the manufacturing industry, in mobility, in energy. All over, we have the demand for data-driven business models. A lot of business models are changing, relying on data, relying on the exchange of data between different organizations, and this is what data spaces are for. And it became very clear during the last month, now also accepted in the board of Gaia-X, in the board of directors, that we are not able to do this alone. And that's why we went into several partnerships as Gaia-X. One prominent one is the so-called Data Spaces Business Alliance, together with IDSA, which has the name, the data spaces in its name, International Data Spaces Association, together with the Fiverr Foundation and the Big Data Value Association, BDVA, which is mainly positioned to create value out of the data, to use AI to further get additional information out of data which are provided by data spaces. And this partnership is very important for us. And although it is in our mission to create de facto standards, for the long term it is important for the sustainability of it, for the global acceptance. It is important also to drive these de facto standards to become formal standards. And therefore we agreed in the board of directors, I think 2.5 months ago, that we as Gaia-X join the Eclipse Foundation as a strategic member, and we are now part of the Eclipse Data Space Working Group. And Eclipse has one clear advantage and a USP, having an agreement with ISO for something which I call, I don't know whether it's the right word for it, but it's a kind of fast-track agreement, allowing to bring publicly available standards, de facto standards, via this fast track to a formal ISO standard within 12 to 14 months. A process which normally takes 4 to 5 years, and this is one of the reasons why we joined together with IDSA in this case, or following IDSA, I have to be correct because they started this initiative, to work together with the Eclipse Foundation. But all of this can only be possible when there is sufficient market-ready technology available, when there are building blocks available which fit into our overall architecture of interoperable data spaces. As today, it takes quite an effort to create a data space. You had to come up with all the necessary functionalities, and the vision is to come to a set of building blocks which fit into the technology, the architecture we have agreed upon, being able to pick these building blocks like Lego stones, put them together, ideally guided by a wizard who is asking you some question in which domain do you want to play, in which geographical region, and so on. You answer some questions, and 15 minutes later, your data space is deployed and you can use it. Also, this will take some time until we are there, but this must be our vision. And to enable this vision, to make it reality, we need you, we need the developers, we need the tech people, we need the community to provide this functionality, to create the open source building blocks usable for others. Let's work together, let's learn from each other, and I'm looking forward to 2 fruitful days together with you, and wishing you a lot of fun. And also the guys, ladies and gentlemen who are working on the hackathon, to see good results, innovative ideas based on Gaia-X. Thank you very much.